So I'm going to tell you the secret and the answer to the question, what zodiac is the correct zodiac? Stay tuned. So there's all these debates in the astrology world. I've seen them recently on social media again. They're always flaring up every so often. And people want to debate which zodiac, which one is the best one, which one has the most impact or should be used. There's a lot of shoulding on other astrologers. They should do this, they should do that, they should use this technique or not use this technique. Astrologers love to do that to other astrologers. I don't recommend that. I don't think that's the best way to build community, but you see it often. And so I wanted to tell you straight up which zodiac is the best zodiac, and the answer is there isn't a best zodiac. The zodiac that is best is the one that is best for you and for your practice and for how you have discovered which tool set works the best for you. And you do that through, in my view, trial and error, trying different zodiacs on for size, and just being moved by inspiration. Remember, astrologers and life in general, there is a sense of being inspired to a technique or being inspired to your life path. And I fully believe that each astrologer, first of all, is practicing a different astrology. You have as many different astrologies as you have astrologers in the world, because no two astrologers use exactly the same tool set. So that's the first point. But the second point is that astrologers can be inspired, like all human beings, to find the path they're meant to be on. And in this case, the tools they're meant to use, and more specifically, the zodiac that they are meant to utilize in their astrological work and in their client work. So there is no correct zodiac to use. Now, I wanted to go further here and break down, what a zodiac is, and it really is a division of the ecliptic. So the ecliptic is the sun's movement through the sky in the year. Every day when you go out, you will see that the sun is moving against the backdrop of the fixed stars in this line that we can then measure. That line is then divided into 360 degrees using spherical trigonometry, and then we divide it up into sections. And there are three major zodiacs. Some of the definitions of what a zodiac is will tell you that it's divisions of the ecliptic into 12 30-degree segments. And that's one zodiac, and it's the most common zodiac that we use. But any division of the ecliptic, to me, is a zodiac. So you might even say the nakshatras are a zodiac in a way, because they divide the ecliptic into 27 segments. Or the lunar mansions, the tropical lunar mansions, divide the ecliptic into 28 sections. I sometimes refer to the Egyptian terms as a zodiac, where you divide the ecliptic into 60 sections. 12 times 5. So there's all kinds of ways to divide the ecliptic, and there's many zodiacs. Now, the three most popular, the tropical zodiac, which is based on the solstices and equinoxes as the points when the sun enters a new 30-degree division or zodiacal sign. You have the sidereal zodiac, which is based on a fixed star's projected ecliptic position, Spica, and then you go the opposite of Spica to get 0 Aries. That sidereal zodiac is the one used most commonly in Vedic astrology, though there are tropical Vedic astrologers and there are Western sidereal astrologers. And then you have this constellational zodiac. So the International Astronomical Union in 1922 comes out, and I think 1930 they published it. They come out and they say, here's our boundaries of the constellations projected back onto the ecliptic degree positions. And they just determined, like Virgo has a very wide boundary, Scorpio is a very small boundary. They made this determination on what the boundaries of the constellations are officially because of their status as astronomers. The main point here is you have many divisions of the ecliptic, and none are right or wrong. I mean, some astrologers may want to use a certain division for their purpose or another division for a different purpose, for a different technique even. So the other point here is that astrologers really love to get a technique correct. They love to find the true or correct technique, and they'll do all kinds of research, as it should be. I am very much an advocate of, if you want to start using a technique, use it on example charts. Show yourself that the technique works and that it's useful. And astrologers are always looking and testing techniques and trying to find the right techniques. 2 examples I'll give. Cyril Fagan and Donald Bradley are a great example of this. They wanted to discover that true Babylonian sidereal zodiac. And so they used ancient tablets that were translated, and they came up with their true sidereal zodiac based on the Babylonian astrological work. Whether some people dispute the accuracy of it, it's not clear that now that's the true zodiac that everyone should be using, because even by the time of Ptolemy, we have a different zodiac, a tropical zodiac, and there's evidence for the tropical zodiac before Ptolemy. There's evidence of the tropical zodiac in India in the early part of the first millennia, the Common Era. So we're already dealing with different zodiacs all the way back into the ancient world. And if you go outside of the Western tradition, you have the Chinese system and other systems from all over the world where there's different divisions of the sky. So there's not, again, one true zodiac, though we have the work of astrologers making that as a goal to find a kind of precise zodiac that works for their techniques and for their predictive astrology and for them, and that allows them to feel confident with the work that they do. I think that's a noble search and a noble journey, and like Fagan and Bradley are very well known for the work that they've done. And so part of what I want to do in this video is encourage people to test and explore the different zodiacs that you're presented with. Get a world event, see how it lines up with the 2 charts, and see which one is more resonant with the astrology as you understand it. The other example is that we can test ayanamshas. In any school of astrology that uses the sidereal zodiac, you have to pick that point, which is 0 Aries. So in the tropical zodiac, it's just when the sun is at the spring equinox, that's 0 Aries. In the sidereal zodiac, you have to pick a point. And of the common points that are used, there's many of them. There's dozens and dozens of options that have been used by astrologers throughout history. But there's like a 10-degree or 8-degree width difference in the most popular ayanamshas. So even if you pick the sidereal zodiac, you're going to have to test and decide which one is more potent or useful for your astrology. Astrologers can't get out of the task to test the different divisions of the sky and to figure out which one they're most inspired to use or most led to use. There's no way out of that. You'll have to make a choice. No matter if you're using a sidereal zodiac, tropical zodiac is its own choice. Or maybe you want to use a constellational zodiac, maybe including Ophiuchus, if you want to use that 13th constellation, which the International Astronomical Union does use Ophiuchus. They have a division for that, which is why you see these stories regularly saying NASA says there's a 13th sign. It's because the astronomers back in 1930 projected Ophiuchus onto the ecliptic, creating problems for astrologers, having to defend and teach people every time that comes up what a zodiac is and why we use the division of 12 and why we have all the way back. Okay, so think about this like testing house systems. An astrologer is presented with various house system options. There's many quadrant house systems. There's equal houses. There's whole sign houses. There's many different systems. And as an astrologer, you will have to, for yourself, mix and match and through work and study and chart examples, find out what house system you want to employ, because that system speaks loudest to you. You intuitively are a match with it, you're energetically a match with it, your techniques match with it. That's a choice you'll have to make. And I would never tell an astrologer, oh, there's one true house system, stop exploring house systems, astrologer. Bad for doing that. You would never do that, in my view. I always encourage every astrology student to tinker and pick and choose and follow your gut, follow your intuition, question your teachers, go to source texts, and what will emerge is your astrology, the art of your astrology. Your craft will only be born from your own honest delving into these questions and picking and choosing amongst the options that are available to you. This is where I come in and just want to advocate. Astrologers will always be sharing their tinkering and their experiments with techniques. Some might say, I used whole sign houses on this chart and it worked better than quadrant houses. Or one person might say, hey, I looked at the Lahiri Ayanamsha sidereal zodiac and that seems to match this Saturn ingress on this world event, and maybe share that with tropical astrologers and get their opinion or how that tropical zodiac might speak to a certain event in the world. I hope we can be in a situation and in a community where Those kinds of exchanges are encouraged. Those kinds of exchanges are supported, and people can listen and accept and share. I think we just need to be kind to each other. We need to be respectful of the choices other astrologers make. And when we present the information, or when I present information that I present, I would never talk down to other practitioners or hold my head up or have a haughty attitude or a hubris, around what they're doing. This is a big tent of astrologers. There's 7 billion astrologies because there's 7 billion people, and the idea of accepting, loving, caring, and being kind as we share ideas is the most important thing to me. There's not one true zodiac, but there is a true, siblingship or siblinghood around astrological practitioners that we can embody and love each other and support each other and encourage each other with our astrological explorations. I always encourage innovation, study, tinkering, chart examples, and then reaching your own conclusions, coming into your own power as the astrologer you are meant to be. This is S.J. Anderson. Thank you for being here. Thank you for coming to my channel. You can support me by liking and subscribing the video. You can always go to my website, sjanderson144.com, and schedule an astrology reading, a tarot reading, or you can support my Patreon. Helps keep the videos going. Have an awesome day. Talk soon.